All right, everyone. Good evening. Captain Jack here in the Southwest 737 Freedom 1. We are at KHDN Airport. Welcome, and I am so glad that you are here with us tonight. We're going to start loading. As a matter of fact, I've already got passengers loading up right now. Want to make sure when you have the opportunity to smash that thumbs up button and say hello to me in the chat windows so that I can say hello to you. Tonight we're going to be flying from Hayden, Colorado, which is just outside of Steamboat Springs. And we're going to be doing this flight tonight in honor of my good friend Don Talapic, who owns a set of radio stations up there in Steamboat. And he and Monica fly down to Santa Fe to their getaway home. And so Don had asked me earlier, how about flying from Hayden to Santa Fe? And I said, sure, why not? So we are set to do that this evening in the 737. As you can see, the door is open. The passenger stairs are there. We've already been loading passengers. We're going to go ahead and jump into the aircraft here. And we're going to see that all of our passengers have boarded. That's good. One thing that we need to do is go ahead and get their luggage in here. I know that from the flight plan, we're going to have about 6,500 pounds of 6,500 pounds of luggage and baggage and all of that. Graham, good morning to you there in you're in Scotland, right, Graham? Good to have you checking in with me here for the 737 flight here this evening. So we're getting our baggage loaded there. The fuel is already on board, so we're going to start by going through our checklist here, of course. So I'm going to bring up our right-hand FMC. I've already loaded in some of the information. You can see we're at KHDN, Hayden, Colorado, once again just east of Steamboat Springs. We need to set our IRS position, so I've got that ready to go. We'll load that into the FMC, and we have that up and entered in there. All right, let's go to our next page, which is going to be our route destination page. KHDN, our destination airport this evening is, of course, Santa Fe, New Mexico. So that is KSAF. We'll load that in and get that set. We're going to use the route that I've already programmed in from SimBrief tonight. So let's do KHDN, KSAF, and we'll put that in our route. We are this evening Southwest Airlines, and it's the 30th of May, so we're going to do Southwest 530. That'll be our flight number for tonight. All right, that's good. We can go ahead and activate our flight plan, and we have that in. We'll go to our performance initialization here, and our zero fuel weight tonight. I want to actually go over to the flight plan. And look at that, zero fuel weight is between 114 and 121.7. So let's see what the airplane tells us it thinks its zero fuel weight is. Okay, right on the lower end there of 114.1. And that's probably because we really only have about 119 passengers tonight. That's not going to be a full aircraft, as it were, but it will save us on a little bit of weight. Okay, we already have fuel loaded on board, and our fuel usage tonight, our block fuel is going to be 12.8. So we'll enter in 12.8, and we'll put that in the flight plan. So we're going to have a lot of reserve fuel tonight. The flight plan tells us had we only loaded the amount of fuel that we absolutely had to have was about 2.1 thousand pounds of fuel, so that's not too bad. All right, our cost index is going to be 5, so we'll enter that in. Our cruising altitude is 39,000 feet, so let's bring that back up here. And enter in flight level 390, so we'll enter that in. Our cruise wind, as we go ahead and go down to see where our top of climb is, cruise wind at top of climb is going to be from the 253 direction, and it will be at 35 knots at altitude. So we'll enter that in the cruise wind, and that is set, and we'll hit execute. our N1 limit. I'm going to go ahead and enter 32 in here as I normally do for takeoff, and we'll put that in, and it gives us our engine D rating. So we'll be climbing at the first level there. So let's go to takeoff. Flaps as normal will be flaps 5. And then our center of gravity, the airplane calculates it to be 18.9%. And we'll come down here and we'll set our trim, our takeoff trim is going to be at 6.22. Okay, my darling daughter-in-law Jessie and Lucas. Hey, Lucas. Hi, Lucas. It's Grandpa. How you doing, man? That's so awesome. I'm glad Lucas is watching. So we'll say hello to him here again in just a minute. So 6.22 on the trim for takeoff. All right, that looks good. All right, going back to our checklist, we're going to go back up in here, and we are already on ground power, so we're going to turn on our window heat as required at the moment. The IRS and airport reference positions are set. All right, we're going to turn on our probe heat. So the probe heats are on to keep those warm. Anti-icing, we're not worried about. The engine hydraulic pumps are, the electrics are off and the hydraulics are on, as they should be. Fuel pumps at the moment are all off. We'll be turning on number 1 in just a moment for the auxiliary power unit. We'll get that going. All right, back to this. Isolation valve is open. The packs are off. The recirc fan is already on, so that's good. Let's see. Fuel is already loaded. Cruise and landing altitudes are going to be set, so let's go ahead and set that. We know our altitude is 39,000 feet at cruise. And we'll set 39,000 feet on the MCP. So we'll go ahead and roll that in. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze here. I need to get a mic mute here somewhere. All right, well, Jesse, let me know when he's watching, if he's watching, and I'll be sure to wave hi to Lucas there. All right, let's see. Hey guys, 8 of you, sure appreciate that. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Once again, we're in Hayden, Colorado, just outside of Steamboat, and we're flying from KHD in Hayden to Santa Fe, KSAF, on board the 737 here. So once again, let's get back to our checklist. Cruise and landing altitudes. All right, we need to look up our landing altitude at KSAF, so I'll put that into my flightplan.go iPad over on this side, which I can't really show you, but I'll just talk you through it as we go. So the elevation of that airport is 6,349 feet. So we're going to set 6,349. For the landing altitude, 6,350. That is close enough. We are going to have VATSIM tonight. We're going to be doing a little VATSIM. It looks like Albuquerque Center is on, so we'll be able to talk to them just a little bit later after we get up to top of climb and altitude. We'll call Albuquerque Center. Right now, we don't really see any other VATSIM operators on, so we'll be using the Unicom frequency of 122.8, and we'll go from there. All right, back to the checklist. I've already set our route, our performance initiative, and our initialization, and the N1 is set. Altimeter, I set the QNH just a little bit earlier. We'll recheck that and see if it's changed here in the last few minutes. Got to go back to KHDN on the iPad here so that we can get the information we need. We'll see if that's changed any. Okay, altimeter is 2,998. Winds are variable at 4 knots. So variable winds at 4 knots. I think we'll go ahead then and take off on runway 10 to the southeast. All right, we're going to look at our baggage handling is done. So we'll go ahead and release the baggage carts, and I'll take you outside the aircraft. and we'll watch the baggage carts go away here momentarily. I tell you guys, this looks just like Hayden around Steamboat Springs. There goes our forward baggage cart, and if we look over to the east here, you can see the ski resort off in the distance. Yep, that's Storm Peak, and Steamboat is actually down in this little hollow there. All right, our baggage carts are pulling away nicely, and this week I know how to check for the doors. I taught myself a little bit about the aircraft. You check here for the door opening and closing situation. So the thing is the passengers are boarded. So we're going to come back to the previous page, and we're going to release the stairs, and we're going to go and we're going to close the door. It is closing, so we will verify that on our overhead panel. All right, everything is closed and shut. That's good. All right, now we're going to go down and get ready to start the APU. So we'll turn on the aft fuel flow, and we'll turn on the APU, and we'll wait for the APU to spin up. The APU, once again, is the auxiliary power unit that allows the aircraft to be fed once we disconnect ground power with electricity, and then, of course, to start the engines. Hi, Lucas. How are you, man? How you doing? Grandpa says hi. Hope you're doing good. You going to fly with me? Let's fly the airplane, Lucas. Okay, let me show you the airplane. There's our airplane we're going to fly tonight. Lucas, my 3-year-old grandson there with his mommy, Jessie, down in Lakewood watching. Lucas, I'm so happy you're with me here. So there's our airplane. It's ready to go. All right, so the APU is started, and we're waiting for the EGT, or exhaust gas temps, to come down there and be in the stable position. And we'll then get ready to turn on the APU generators. I'll go ahead and flip on the APU bleed up here on the upper right-hand side of the panel. It looks like our APU is stabilizing out. We'll wait for the blue light to come on, and there it is. All right, we're going to go to APU power. So the APUs are now powering the aircraft. We'll check the APU generator. That looks good. We'll turn off our ground power here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the ground power switch. We'll turn that off. And then down on the FMC, we're going to go back to the ground services, and we're going to release the ground power. All right, that's all set. We are on electricity from the APU, so we're going to get ready to start the aircraft here, and also we're going to get ready for a pushback. So once again, I've got to go through and check a couple of things here on the FMC per the flight plan here. All right, looks good. Everything looks good. That's all clear. We'll return to the main menu, go to the FMC, and we're going to go to our departure airport, which is KHDN. We're going to depart from runway 10, and that'll head us basically to the southeast. So that's good. Back to departure, KSAF. All right, let's see what our flight plan says for KSAF. We're going to be landing on runway 20. So we're going to go to the RNAV 20 and land on that unless something changes between now and then. And that will be a direct approach for RNAV runway 20. So we're going to go through and check now our routing. And we'll get rid of that discontinuity there. And all right, it looks pretty solid. It looks like it's going to be a pretty straight-in flight to runway 20 there at KSAF, unless, once again, ATC tells us something different. And since we will be talking to Albuquerque Center just a little bit later, we'll see what they have to say. All right, back to the checklist. We are good on our flight plan. That all looks good. We're down to where now we're going to go back to the MCP, the Master Control Panel, and we're going to turn on the flight directors and verify that the auto throttle is off. Auto throttle is off. The Mach selector, we know that we're going to be taking off at a certain airspeed, so we've got to go back now and check our V speeds on the FMC. And we're going to hit V1, V2, and V3, or V2 and VR for rotate. So it looks like our V2 is 132. Come back to the MCP. We're going to take set our speed to V2 plus 15. But actually, I'm going to give it a little more. I'm going to go to 155 on that. We're going to set our course for the runway 10. And I'm looking to check that. So we're going to set our course and our heading to 140. I'm sorry, 104. 104. Too far. Let's go back. 104. That's good. Let's go the other way. Set the first officer's course selector to 104, and we're good. And we'll go ahead and set our runway heading to 104. Uh-oh, Jesse tells me that Paw Patrol won out. Okay, well, there you go. You know, Paw Patrol or Grandpa flying an airplane. What are you going to do? Well, if he checks back in, Jesse, let me know. By the way, if you have not had the opportunity yet, smash that thumbs up button and get in the chat window. The chat window is open. I'd love to hear where you're from, maybe, or at least who you are and where you're watching if you feel up to that. So that would be good. All right, let's see. What else have we got going on there? That all looks fine. All right, we're set. Our course is set. Our heading is set. We do need to set our minimums to radio for takeoff, so I've got that set in. We'll go over here and we'll reset the fuel flow rate per the checklist. That looks good. Minimums I just did for radio. All right. Our landing gear is down. Our checklist says to check the speed brake. It is disengaged. And the start levers and thrust levers are cut off and closed. So we're going to now turn on the yaw damper up here. So let's go on and turn on the yaw damper. All right, that first part is complete. Once again, we're going to check and make sure that all doors are shut. They look like they are, and I'm going to double check everything here by going outside the aircraft. Last week we had a problem with this door, but this week we are good. Jay, hello. Glad you like the upgrade for the Pilot Hill repeater. Glad you got to check that out, Jay. Thank you for being here tonight. So let's go back into the flight deck, and we're going to set our pushback. Pushback. There we go. We'll go straight out. We're going to select our tug, which is actually the only tug I have on here, so that's fine. Let's go back into ground services, and now with the chocks are removed, so the starter did that. That's good. And we're going to call for pushback. And you should be able to hear this.
Cockpit to ground. Go ahead. We've been cleared for pushback and start straight back. Roger that. Ready for push straight back. Brakes off.
Okay. Brakes off.
Brakes released.
Okay, we'll wait till the pushback starts, and then we'll get ready for engine start.
Here we go.
Here we go. All right, that's good. We are pushing back. Okay, we're going to turn on our electric hydraulic pumps. That's on. Fuel pumps are all on. I'm going to turn on the upper two because we do have a full fuel load. We really don't need to push back too terribly far at this airport. We will push back to the dashed pushback line. John, hello. Nice to see you. My good friend John Bissett is watching tonight. John, I'm thrilled that you're watching, man. That's awesome. Hope you enjoy the flight here from KHDN, Hayden, Colorado to Santa Fe. Once again, if you're just joining us, that's what we're doing. We're flying Santa Fe to, Hayden, just west of Steamboat Springs to Santa Fe. All right, we're at the pushback line, so we're going to go ahead and hit stop. And I'm going to engage the brake. All right, parking brake is set. Okay, we'll release the tug. And once again, chocks are removed. So, let's see. Let me make sure everything else in the checklist is good. We're going to go ahead and turn on our packs and get some airflow going to the passengers. We're going to auto the isolation valve. All right, we're looking good here. We're going to bring up our nav, strobe, and beacon lights. And go back to the checklist for a double check here just to make sure that everything looks good. Probe heat is already on. We started that just a little bit earlier. All right, LNR packs to auto. Yep, APU bleed and APU can go off. I made one mistake. Let me go back and get this rolling again, you know. It helps when you follow the checklist precisely. All right, let's go ahead and before we do that, let's go for a main engine start. I want to go ahead and change a couple of things on the display here to where I can see them a little bit better. All right, that looks good. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and watch for our N1 speeds to come up on the engine. We need to do a reset of this, so stand by. Okay, yep. And the packs have to be off in the isolation valve. That's what I did. You know, it really helps folks when you follow the checklist. So I'm an amateur at this. We're playing. We're having a good time. Learning as we go. I hope maybe you have the opportunity to learn something too. Okay, we're going ahead and get number right engine started. And we'll wait for that to come up to 25%. Then we'll introduce fuel over here on the throttle quadrant. Okay, there's 24, 25. All right, we'll introduce fuel to number 2 engine, and we'll see it climb. Once it gets past 50, I'll go ahead, or actually 40, I'll go ahead and start the number 1 engine. Okay, there's 40. And I hope you can hear the engine sounds. It's really pretty cool. All right, engine number 2 is up to full speed, and I just heard the starter switch click off, so we're good there. Okay, let's introduce fuel to engine number 1. Hope you guys had a wonderful Memorial Day weekend and enjoyed your family and whoever you might have been remembering. And we had a great time here at the KHCO household. Really had a really good time. Okay, I see Albuquerque Center has signed off, so it looks like we're going to be Unicom. And that frequency is 122.8. Okay, I just heard the switch click off for engine number 1 start. The engine generators are ready, so we're going to go ahead and switch those over. All right, and we'll check our gens up here on the electrical panel. And it looks like number 1 is fine, number 2 is fine. All right, now we can go ahead and start the air conditioning pack units. And now we can turn off the APU and the APU bleed. It always helps when you do things in the right order. Okay, back to the checklist. We're going to set flaps 5. And that's exactly what it sounds like, isn't it? Okay, flaps 5. We're going to turn on the taxi lights. Okay, and we are ready to taxi. Hayden Unicom Southwest 530, ready to taxi to runway 10 via taxiway Alpha, Southwest 530. Okay, so we're going to give our self-clearance there. And we're going to kill the brake. All right, parking brake is off and verified. Go ahead and turn the auto throttle on. begin our taxi. Okay, by the way, I had set for us to depart the gate at about 55, and we're 3 minutes or 2 minutes early departing the gate. How about that? Okay, and we'll continue our taxi down to runway 10. Steamboat Unicom, Southwest 530 on taxiway Alpha, heading for runway 10 Hayden. Okay, let's go ahead and set our auto brakes to RTO, which we just did right over here. Our engine switches are going to be set to continuous. That looks good, and we'll continue on our taxi down. By the way, if you haven't yet, please do say hello in the chat window. I'd love to get to recognize you and say hello. That would be great. I want to thank Graham for watching tonight so far. Jay is there up in the Laramie, Wyoming area. My good friend John Bissett, who I've known for years in the broadcast industry. John, I'm so glad you're watching tonight, and glad to have everybody check in who has. And my daughter-in-law, Jessie, with my grandson, Lucas, I hear that Paw Patrol won out over Grandpa flying the airplane tonight. So, hey, what do you do? All right, so we're going to go ahead and brake, and we're going to come up to the line. Let's go ahead and set our parking brake. Parking brake is set. We'll go through our pre-takeoff checklist. All right, landing lights on and extend. TCAS exponder. We're going to turn on, and we are at this moment transponding. Code is 1200-1200. So that's all set. Let me reset one more thing over here. All right, there we go. Okay, Jesse says Lucas is watching the takeoff. All right, Lucas, get ready. We're going to fly the airplane out of here. All right, heading bug is on runway heading because we did that a moment ago. Let's hit our LNAV and VNAV switches. Okay, LNAV is not going to light up right now because we're not actually on the track at the moment, and I'm seeing an issue here on one thing on the FMC. So let me go back and look at something here. It wants me to verify the takeoff speed, so we will do that. Okay, legs, that all looks good. We're going to go back to our reference page. Okay, our pages have set. It wants me to reset them. That's why. Okay, 138 and 15 is going to be, yeah, it wants me to reset everything. It's going to be 130, where am I? 138 and 15. If I can do math in my head, is going to be 151. Okay, but I'm going to bug that up just a little bit more. I like to take off at 155. It's just generally speaking better. Okay, there we go. We are set. Checklist, pre-takeoff checklist is complete. Now, I'm going to go back and I'm going to cycle the VNAV and the LNAV. Okay, LNAV still doesn't want to engage. All right. Southwest 530, Hayden, Unicom on 122.8. Ready for takeoff, runway 10. Going to taxi to the runway and hold short and wait for just a minute. Southwest 530. Okay, so we'll release the parking brake. Parking brake is off. And we're going to line up. Yeah, Don says don't hit the storm peak power. Well, you know, the thing is, Don, is we won't be going anywhere near there. So there we go. All right. Okay, we're going to hold short right here because I'm still seeing one thing. I've got an issue for some reason why our PFD is not showing the flight plan. Okay, let's reset the altitude. Okay, we have 39. Double check that. Okay, altitude is set. Our cruise altitude is set. I am going to recycle the flight directors. Okay, flight directors are recycled there. Okay, LNAV still doesn't want to come in, but the flight director looks like it's got the PFD. All right, we're going to go ahead and get ready for takeoff, everyone. Hope you enjoy the takeoff here. Here we go. All right, takeoff power is set.
Airspeed's alive.
Do our toga.
80 knots.
80 knots checked. V1 and rotate. Okay. Nope, you're fine.
Positive rate of climb.
All right, gear up. And we're going to bug up our speed. Kind of a low takeoff over the hills here, huh? Go ahead, up a little bit. Okay, a little bit of throttle back there. That's normal at this time. Go ahead and look out the window there as we take off over Hayden and Steamboat. Okay, and we can come up flaps 1. All right, and 8,900 feet, a speed of 208, and we'll go ahead and retract flaps fully. Okay, we are looking good. Let's go back up on the flight deck. All right, through 9,800 feet. Very good, 10,000 feet, landing lights off. And we'll engage the LNAV. All right, why is our LNAV not wanting to engage? All right, I'm going to reset our heading. Hayden Unicom Southwest 530 through 12,400 feet. Heading for Santa Fe, Southwest 530. Okay, we are up and in the air. I am really not sure why our LNAV is not engaging. So let me go back and look at the flight plan. Okay, so double, ALS, not on intercept heading. Okay, that is why. So what we're going to do is we're going to manually fly the airplane and we're going to turn back to the intercept heading. All right, let's reset a couple of things here. RTO auto brakes are off. And we'll just say they vectored us out on the takeoff. So we're going to come around to a heading of 185. We need to intercept our flight plan. And I'll show you what I'm looking at over here. So I'm looking at some software called Little Nav Map. And we're going to aim back over for our flight path in the flight plan, and we'll intercept at that point, and the LNAV will come on. You know, sometimes aircraft will get vectored for other traffic or whatever the case may be, weather, so we'll just pretend that's what happened. All right, how y'all guys doing? We're climbing through 18,000 feet. So we'll go ahead and set standard on the altimeter. And as you can see on our PFD down here, we're at 285 knots, coming through 18.8. And once we re-intercept the proper flight plan path here, we'll engage the LNAV. So let's look outside over central Colorado. Over here, we have the little town of Kremling, Colorado. And behind us, you can see the road that goes across Rabbit Ears Pass. How about that? Very cool. All right, you can look down here and you can see Eagle, Colorado. And this is a mountain called Castle Peak. I actually have to frequent that mountain, especially in the summer, because I have a KSAF radio station up there that I look after the engineering for. Okay, let's go back in the cockpit, keep an eye on things here. All right, everything's looking good. We're coming through 22,300 feet. Okay, and as you can see on the MFD, the main flight display, we're going to intercept our heading or the flight plan.
Traffic.
A little bit.
Traffic.
All right, we have a traffic warning. That's kind of cool. Okay, and it's off scale on the MFD, so let's expand the range out a little bit and see if we can see him. All right, he's down here, back behind us and to the right. Just real quick, stuck outside the aircraft and see if we can see a contrail. It's loud out here. All right, I don't see his contrail, so he's too far off. Hey, once again, like to invite you to smash that thumbs up button for me if you wouldn't mind. I appreciate that. We do record these flights. By the way, we're going to introduce something new tonight. As a matter of fact, we're going to introduce the instant replay. We're going to replay the landing, so I hope it's a good one, right? You know, I keep watching these guys who do this all the time and do this professionally. Don says, "Don't you follow 285 to Santa Fe?" No, we follow the aircraft heading. And the flight plan that it gives us, Don, and that's what you would do in real life. So we're coming up on intercepting the programmed flight path here at about 5 miles. Oh yeah, so we're going to do instant replay tonight. We're going to replay the landing in Santa Fe, so let's hope it's a good one, right? Hey, any landing you can walk away from. That's pilot's adage. All right, we're 2.5 miles out. I'm going to go ahead and start giving us just a little bit of a turn into the flight path. And I'm going to get ready to engage the lateral navigation because it should allow us to do that at this time. And there's no control at Albuquerque or at Albuquerque Center, which would normally be helping us out with Santa Fe. All right, let's engage the LNAV, and there we go. All right, LNAV engages properly. We're coming through 27,800 feet. Unicom 122.8, this is Southwest 530, coming through 28,000 feet on flight path for Santa Fe. Southwest 530. Okay, so let's see about how far we have to go to our top of climb. All right, so we're about, let's see, what is that, 50 miles, no, yep, no, 80, 70, do my addition right, okay, 70 miles out from top of climb. Let's go back and check and see when we're gonna land in Santa Fe at 0151, so that's not looking too bad. We should be landing in about 39 minutes or so. 40 minutes? Oh, let's see, 40 minutes. So we should be landing Santa Fe in about 40 minutes. Take you back into the seating area. Once again, I am totally amazed at how well, by the way, this is Interstate 70. Avon and Edwards. Yeah, there's Avon and Edwards. There's Vail, Colorado. Just under the third pylon there on the wing. And this is Avon and Edwards through here. It just renders this so amazingly. Let's look out our right side wing. And we can see Interstate 70 continuing on through the cut there. Off in the distance over in this area is Grand Junction. This is Grand Mesa. I always wish a pilot would give kind of a play-by-play of the flight, you know, what you're flying over. That would be very interesting to me. Of course, I know most people probably don't want to hear it when they're flying, but that's just me. All right, back up onto the flight deck. We'll check everything out once again. We're coming up on double DBL, which is one of the waypoint. Hey, Lucas. Hi, man. How are you? Hi, Lucas. It's so great to see you watching Grandpa tonight, flying the 737. Let me show you the airplane we're flying. There you go, Lucas. There's our airplane tonight, Freedom 1. Lucas knows Freedom 1. Lucas, it's great to see you, buddy. Great to see you, man. Hope you're doing fun and having fun. There you go. Okay, Don says, what kind of landing is required in Santa Fe? You said it was a hard landing. Yeah, the first time I ever landed in Santa Fe, let's go take a look at this real quick. They brought me in on a runway that has a really odd parallel, and it may have been runway 20, but we're going to RNAV into that, so we'll see. We'll see how that comes up, Don. So here's our landing. I'm going to go ahead and show the arrival procedure. So we're going to be coming in on RNAV 20. We'll go ahead and insert that into the flight plan. And let's see what that looks like. Yeah, there's a little bit of an off feed on that, but I've actually been practicing on some of this. So what it is, it's an offset approach. It's called an offset approach. And you come in, but you don't fly in exactly straight forward into the runway. It can be a little tricky. Let me see what it says for Santa Fe and the winds. Where are they coming right now? And I can venture a guess as to which runway we'll land on. Okay, let's get the weather for Santa Fe. Okay, wind is at 240. Oh my gosh, at 30 knots. Oh, this may be a lot of fun. So let's see here. 230 at 30 knots. Yep, so we're going to have to land on runway 20 unless something changes by then. And I'll tell you right now, a 30-knot crosswind in this case is always very tricky. So Don, I think we're going to get the tricky landing tonight on runway 20. So we'll see. We'll see. By the way, you guys got any questions? Want to ask in the chat window? Would love to answer those for you. All right, top of climb is about 40 miles away still. Kind of a long climb out here to Santa Fe, but it's going to be a very short cruise altitude at this point. Okay, I'm having trouble getting the mouse to lock on our distance. Yeah, okay, there you go. Our top of our cruise is only going to be about 60 miles. So we'll hit top of climb in another 38 miles or so. There's the 80-mile mark, and top of climb is about midway between the 80 and the 100. So yeah, about a 50 nautical mile cruise at this point. So we'll keep a look on that. You know, Don, the last couple of landings I've done in Santa Fe, they brought me in on runway 15 and 30, and those are straight in approaches. So the approach tonight is going to be a bit of a challenge. So we'll see how it goes, and we're going to record it for playback. So we'll see how it goes here. Now we're kind of into the section of flying that the pilots are basically talking to ATC and just monitoring programs or the flight instruments and the displays and making sure that everything goes well. Really, I've been told by several pilots that this is kind of the boring part of the flight. So there you go. Water there. Okay, almost to 37,000 feet. So another thing, and of course we had that faux pas last week with the doors. After you check the doors, you can also check your atmospheric pressure, what it is outside and what it is in the cabin. Now, I'll be honest with you, I have not quite learned how to read all of this instrumentation. This aircraft is a study that you can do for a long time and still not totally know the entire part of the aircraft. So it can be very interesting. All right, I'm going to look over here, and I'm going to look for the RNAV or GPS approach to runway 20. And yep, it is a bit of an offset. Oh, you know what? This actually makes it a little bit easier. So the approach RNAV runway 20 at Santa Fe. Actually, it's not an offset. They're not offsetting me on that. I think they have updated these charts, because the first time I ever flew into Santa Fe, it had that offset. So it looks like we are going to make a straight in approach. Okay, there's our alert that it's about 1,000 feet to our top of climb. So Don, I don't know, maybe it won't be quite as thrilling a landing. That'd be all right by me. The less thrilling landing, the better. All right, guys, hang on. I will be right back. Okay, I am back. I literally had to turn the overhead fan on here in the cockpit because it's getting a little warm. Hey, all right. I want to say hello to my good friend Tony Blevins back in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Tony, I went to high school with, and we had an absolute wonderful growing up life together. Tony, you're a special guy, and I really appreciate you subscribing to the channel. By the way, I haven't mentioned that much, but if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do. I would appreciate that. Yeah, Jay, big fan of the mountain views, and it's unbelievable, isn't it, from 39,000 feet. By the way, the weather engine is totally accurate. This is what's going on over the part of Colorado that we're flying over at the moment. Matter of fact, as soon as the map updates. Okay, hey, we're flying right over Monarch Pass. Let's take a look. Yep, you can see Monarch Pass. This area right here, that's the Monarch Pass Ski Resort. And just off of our rear wing is the Collegiate Range, Mount Princeton, Mount Antero. I forget what this one is. One thing that I need to do is maybe lower the aircraft sounds. So let's do that. Let's bring that down just a little bit. Yeah, very accurate. The rendering of all this. This is the Gunnison Valley, and the city of Gunnison is right over here. Gunnison is a lot of the time pegged as the coldest spot in the nation. A lot of winters here in Colorado. You can see Blue Mountain Reservoir off in the distance there. They do such a good job pulling from Bing Maps that it's pretty extraordinary. Buena Vista, the town of Buena Vista is back in here. Leadville, Colorado is back here, so you kind of know where you are as we travel around. Like I said, this is always something I wish the pilots would do, but they don't. And here in the distance is the Great Sand Dunes National Monument. How about that? Well, let you enjoy this view for just a moment. The other thing too is when I go to this screen and allow you to see this, it shows you all of the instrumentation, or at least the primary instrumentation, the direction of travel, the airspeed, the engine percentages, and fuel level, of course. Speaking of fuel level, we'll go back in the cockpit here for just a moment. Okay, we do not need to turn off the center tanks, but I tell you what, I'm going to do that at this point, and we'll just run on the main fuel tanks. start using some of this fuel just so we can balance the aircraft out a little bit better when we do land. Okay, this is the San Luis Valley and the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. And of course, down in this area is the town of Center of Colorado, where I have a good buddy, good ham friend of mine, Dave, N0KM lives, and some other folks that I know down in this area. We have some of our ham radio Skyhub link repeaters down in this area as well, and the town of Alamosa. And right now we're flying over a really tiny little town called Saguache. By the way, in just a moment we'll be flying over the 38th parallel. And of course you may find that interesting because the 38th parallel, of course, is what is the dividing line between North and South Korea. And it actually crosses through Colorado right at this latitude. And we're about to fly right over the 38th parallel here at 39,000 feet. Okay, when we hit the top of descent, about 22 miles, let's go ahead and look back at our flight instrumentation. And I hope this is resolving out on YouTube. I did some work to try to make this a little bit better, but here's our top of descent at about 23 miles out. In just a moment, we're going to be lowering our altitude. And at top of descent, I will announce over Unicom. I wish the Albuquerque Center was on because we'd be able to talk to them and have them fly us into Santa Fe. But we'll go ahead and announce that we're beginning descent into Santa Fe here in just about another 20 miles or so. Yep, there we go. And we'll zoom in on the map, as it were. Jay says, where is Gary? Bye, Lucas. Jesse says Lucas is leaving. Bye, buddy. Hope you have a great night. Thanks for flying on Grandpa Airlines. How about that? I love you, man. Love you, boy. Come and see me. Come and fly the airplane, okay? Love to have you come back sometime. We'll see you soon. Jay, where is Gary? Gary who? Not sure who you're referring to there. Okay, top of descent is a little over 10 miles away. All right, we're going to go ahead and reduce our altitude. We'll start dialing that down. And because we're going to do an RNAV approach, I'm going to go ahead and set it down to the airport altitude, which once again, the touchdown zone is 6349. So we'll set that for 6,300. An RNAV approach is using the aircraft's knowledge of where it is in the GPS, and it literally knows everything about the airport that you're landing at in an RNAV approach. Now, you know, of course, somebody would ask me, JNC2WX, you know, he said he was going to be here tonight, but he did not be able to make it, I guess. So an RNAV approach, just in case you know or don't know, it stands for area navigation. Area navigation is the ability to navigate directly between any 2 points on the Earth. The most common type of RNAV approach in equipment today is GPS, but several older technologies have been in use in aircraft, larger aircraft, for decades. So the method permits aircraft operation on any desired flight path within the coverage of the ground or space-based navigation aids. In this case, once again, we're using GPS. All right, so we're coming up on the top of descent, and you'll notice that we just got our RMP values. And you can see here that we're starting to descend out of 38,000 feet. Okay, our speed bug has lowered just a little bit. All right, Unicom frequency, this is Southwest 530, descending out of 39,000 feet for Santa Fe, Southwest 530. Okay, we're going to do a couple of things here to start prepping. I want to take a look at our flight plan into Albuquerque, so I'm going to set this over to plan, and I'm going to step through on the FMC. So we'll go ahead and step past ALS, and there's POKE, P-O-A-K-E, which is a waypoint. Now by the time that we get to JTEC, however you might say that, you'll notice that then we should be on a straight in approach to runway 20. And it's going to bring us around, and yeah, there's that slight curve, Don. Okay, so it is a bit of an offset approach looking at it this way. We'll see how it lines up as we go in, but the computer should carry us right on down into where we need to be. And then of course I probably will of course hand fly the aircraft just a little bit. All right, our RNP is looking good. And we're staying on the flight path. I'm just looking up one little piece of information over here. Okay, that's what I wanted. All right, so our required navigation performance requires us to be within 400 feet of the descent path. And the ANP, okay, that's set there. The ANP is the actual navigation performance. So right now, the ANP, as you see on the MCP, the MFD, the main flight display, is showing us about 154 feet low, but we're climbing back. So once again, we're within required parameters. All right, let's look at a couple of things we're going to need to know for the approach on the RNAV. Okay, so we have set to Paro because we're going to be using the air pressure, the atmospheric pressure to help guide us along the flight path. We're coming through 33,000 feet. And we have minimums on this runway of 451 feet. So we're going to set that up, and you'll see over in the PFD, we're going to set that up to give us minimums of 451 feet. That the minimums are what you have to have, or where you have to be and have visibility of the runway. So if we were below or at 451 feet, we could not see the runway, we would have to divert to another airport. In this case, it would probably be KABQ Albuquerque. All right, our minimums are set. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at our VREF. So we're going to set VREF up by looking at right now. We have 20.7 thousand gallons of fuel. We'll have 20.0 when we land. So we need to take the 0.7 and we need to subtract that from our gross weight at this time. So 134. No, let's go back and get rid of that. Okay, so 134.0 will be our gross weight when we land. So that gives us our VREF speeds, and we'll probably land with flaps 30, so we'll set that at 136 knots. That will be our flap and speed indicated when we come down on the runway. Okay, Jace. No, Jay, we really can't see Pueblo from here. It's way far behind us and way out of view. Okay, Don's asking, what are the crosswinds in Albuquerque? Okay, according to the weather information, let me go ahead and do a reset on that, Don. Winds are 250 at 15 gusts to 22. 250, 15 with gusts to 22. So might just be a wee bit wobbly. We'll see as we get there. By the way, you can look this information up. There's a really great website that you can go to see all this information, even as it's occurring. It's called METAR, METAR TAF.com, METAR-TAF.com. And I was using my flightplan.go here. Yeah, this is going to be a tough landing. Runway 20 is going to be the best, for sure. But even so, winds are 15 with gusts to 25 knots. So this one might be a little interesting, folks, especially as I am not a super duper professional. So let's keep our fingers crossed. But I've landed on some real flights too, where it's a little sketchy. You feel a little sketch bouncing in there. I think I probably will allow the autopilot to handle most of it in. We'll see what our wind looks like here at 26,000 feet. You can see on the MFD indicator that winds are 245 at 24. Our ground speed is 350. Our indicated airspeed is 366, and we're coming through 23,300 feet. So we're really doing all right on this approach. Our RMP in actual is looking really good. And once again, you can see that on this part of the MFD. All right, in case I hadn't yet. Santa Fe Unicom, Southwest 530, coming through 25,200 feet, inbound for runway 20, Santa Fe, Southwest 530. All right. Man, I wish that Albuquerque control was there. They were there the other night. It was really fun going in, getting to talk to the guy on ATC on VATSIM. If you want to look up what VATSIM is all about, VATSIM, VATSIM. All right. Once again, if you have not yet, I would appreciate you hitting that thumbs up button. And once again, if you haven't said hello in the chat window, would love to hear from you. Love to get to say hi. Southwest 530, Captain Jack here at the command, and we're descending into Santa Fe. Once again, we expect a landing in about another 10 minutes or so. So things will start happening real quick. Don, I'm not really seeing any wind shear alerts as far as the weather itself goes. Where would it show up in the screen? You don't really get that kind of indication in the screen, as it were. However, that being said, the automated computer system will say wind shear alert. It will get that information. Hopefully we won't hear that tonight. because that could make for an even trickier landing. But you will hear the airplane computers say wind shear alert. So there you go. Yeah, so let's see on runway 20 where we're going to be landing. It's a 42% crosswind, headwind of 13 to 23 knots, 6 to 11 on the crosswind, and the heading may be a little bit all over the place. I'm looking at the information now on the METAR-TAF.com website for KSAF. Yeah, so runway 20 is going to definitely be our best runway here this evening. And we're about 10 minutes away from landing. All right, so once again, I want to check the altimeter. The altimeter is 2999er. So I'm going to set that up in the PFD. Okay, and we're still at 20,000 feet. All right, so all of that's pretty well set. All right, we're going to go ahead and do some of the rest of the descent checklist, which I kind of have done from heart. Okay, auto brake. I'm going to go ahead and set the auto brake to max. This is a shorter runway. I'll tell you how short here in just a minute. And we'll set the approach course 192. Get back where it was. Yeah, once again, guys, I would invite you to watch Captain Canada, some of the other real streamers who really do this so very well. They are very pro. They have all the bells and whistles in their streams, and it's pretty extraordinary to watch them. I really enjoy watching Captain Canada. Let's see, Jay says, I've flown into Laramie Airport. The cockpit door was open and I could see the runway. It was wild watching the runway wiggle around. Yeah, you know, once again, I've said this several times during these streams, but when you're flying and you're coming in on the approach to whatever airport you're coming into, by the way, we're coming through 18,000 feet. Let me do this. Santa Fe Unicom, Southwest 530 through 18,000 feet. For runway RNAV 20 Santa Fe, Southwest 530 Unicom. When you're coming in and all of a sudden you feel the airplane start to dip side to side and you see the wings move and all this kind of, that's when the pilot's actually hand flying the airplane. Normally a lot of airlines will have them do that at 1,000 feet above ground level and the pilot will actually start hand flying it. But in a lot of cases, you know, they take over a little bit earlier and go ahead and fly the approach pattern and you know, hand navigate the aircraft. It's pretty cool. Now that I've been doing this and about the gajillion videos that I've watched, I can really feel when the pilot's taking over the airplane. Looks like we've got some clouds and some haze maybe coming in. We're coming in very, very nicely. I'm looking at my approach over here. Let me show you on a little nav map. We'll go ahead and bring that up. See, we're coming in really nice on the approach path there through 16,000 feet. And we're going to end up down here at JTAC, and we're going to have to make a slight turn into runway 20. You can see as we expand this right here at Royso, we're going to kind of go to the right a little bit and come in and land that way. So we're looking pretty decent at this point. All right, coming through 15.5. Well, I'm having a lot of problems Okay, we'll try to watch that come up. Let's go ahead and come back to the 20-mile city. Yeah, there's a lot of haze over the area here, as you can see. Right now, the city of Santa Fe itself is right out in front of us. Actually, it's right over here. Okay, Don and Monica, we are coming up on Santa Fe, so you guys will be ready to jump out and head for your hacienda down here. That'll be pretty cool, won't it? Once again, I'll let you guys know I will not be here next week streaming. I'm going to be in California for work and business meetings. At the very least, we'll hope to be back 2 weeks from tonight. I might shift the schedule around. I've been threatening to do that for some time anyway, but we'll see what happens here. All right. So as we come on in, all right, our approach, on the approach checklist, our nav course is set. Speeds are in limits. Speed brake, we're going to go ahead and arm. You'll see on the green light there above the MFD, that is arm. Approach mode, we do not need to arm that. Glide slope alive. Well, we'll put the gear down. Let's go ahead. One thing that I can do here is we'll come to our menu and we'll get our runway to 0. All right, we're going to go to our fix page. We're going to enter that into the fix page so that we can get a fix on our distances, which will help us with our speed settings. And no, we need to get rid of that. 15-mile fixed rate. Okay, that looks good. We'll come back up here and you see that we have our rings in check. So speed brake is armed. Okay. All right, we're coming through 11,500 feet. You can see there at JTEK, J-E-T-E-K, how we make that turn more towards the runway. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the landing and taxiing lights. Normally you do that at about 10,000 feet, but we're going to go ahead and set them now. Okay, you can see that the MCP is lowering our speed and continuing to drop the speed a little bit. I'm going to help the airplane slow down just a little bit by extending the speed brakes. We'll take a look at alpha left window here for that. See the speed brakes extended on the wing there. Mountains look really pretty. Very nice. Okay, I'm going to get rid of my picturing screen. Too dry and brown, Jay says he doesn't like. I like a little green. You know, we've had a lot of green here in Colorado this year, Jay. It's amazing how green the hillsides are. Wet and green all the time in Scotland. Yeah, Graham, I bet it is. I bet it is. All right, we're coming through 9,300 feet. I'm going to go ahead and rearm the speed brake for deployment upon landing. And we're going to get ready for this crosswind landing. So everybody hang on to your hats and welcome to Santa Fe.
2,500.
Let you see the instrumentation as we go down. I do have the airport runway lights in sight. All right, let's go ahead and extend flaps 5. And we're making the turn towards the airport. And yep, I can see where this is going to be just a bit of an offset landing. You can see the runway right up here. The runway lights are right at the tip end of the mouse pointer. Okay, one other thing I'm going to do is we're going to start recording instant replay. Okay, the haze is making it a little difficult to see the runway. Okay, let's go to flaps 30. I'm going to extend flaps all the way. Okay, I'm going to control the speed. And I'm going to disengage the autopilot. Okay, I am hand flying the airplane. Boy, somebody put a windmill right in the way. Yep, there's that crosswind. Now, this has got to be an inaccuracy in the software because, shut that up, there would not be that big of a windmill right here in the way. Okay, our reference speed is good. We're looking really, really good. But once again, once you get past the stupid windmill. Okay, here we go.
5, too low, gear. Too low, gear. Too low, gear.
Okay.
Too low, gear. Too low,
Yeah, I
gear.
know. You think the landing gear. All right.
Too low, gear.
No, this is not looking too bad. I'm a little to the left, but we'll go ahead and counter for the crosswind.
Sync rate 100.
Okay. Over the threshold.
Airspeed.
Yeah, this is tricky, guys.
40. 30. Airspeed. Hold. Airspeed. Hold.
Okay.
10.
All right, touchdown. Hey. All right, reverse thrusters. Yeah, I didn't like the airspeed that I was landing at, but I don't care. That was a good landing, and we'll go ahead and roll off the runway here. Powered the thrusters down just a little bit for a smooth roll off, but I don't know, guys. I will take that. Yeah, daft place for a windmill. That normally, I don't know. All right, let's go ahead and clean up the airplane. Okay, we'll take a look at that. I'm going to pull off here. Okay, and there's the terminal on over to the left. We'll go ahead and roll over to the terminal, set the parking brake. Okay, I can stop the record here. That is good. All right, Santa Fe Unicom Southwest 530, landing vacated the runway, taxiing to the terminal, Southwest 530. Yeah, they've got. You can see that windmill there, just to the left of the tower. What a god awful place to. Don, is that for real? Is there a windmill off runway 20 like that? I'll have to look on Google Earth. You guys fly in quite frequently, so we'll continue to taxi here. All right, somebody's texting me. Maybe they'll know. Oh, hey, thanks, Kat. I appreciate that. Kat says, nice landing. You know, that was not a bad landing, considering we had all that crosswind and had to dodge that stupid windmill. See that windmill there right in the center? Oh, my gosh. Okay, let me see. Where am I? We're going to go over here to the terminal building. And they also put the taxiway lights in really weird spots. in this, and they don't bury them in the ground. All right, we're going to pull right up here to the gas tank. This is where we're going to be. Okay, parking brake on. We'll go ahead and turn on the APU and the APU bleed. Yeah, that is not bad. That was not bad at all. Let's go down here and come back to our menu and our FS actions, and we're going to set the chocks. Okay, didn't like that for some reason. Oh, because I probably don't have the, because it had that in there for some reason. All right, let's set the chocks. Okay, chocks are set. We're going to request ground power. That's going to connect. Go to the next page. We've got the stairs. Okay, we can't request the stairs just yet because the engines are still on. Okay, so we're waiting for the APUs to come on and give us our APU generator. And okay to turn. All right, good. We can do this. Okay, APU gens are on. Turn off our fuel pumps. Turn off our electric and hydraulics. Now leave that there and shut the engines down. Okay, and we're on the APU generator. That looks good. See if it'll let me call the stairs. No, I guess because the engines are still spinning up. But they're turning off, so we'll come back to that in just a minute. Okay, well let's go ahead and try to see what that landing looked like. I have not used this replay engine in Microsoft Flight Simulator before, so if we want to set, okay, good. That looks good. And we can roll it forward just a little bit. Okay, well, watch us dodge that stupid wind generator. Now, let's go outside the airplane. Okay, it's not letting us go outside. I wanted to see the view from outside the airplane. Maybe I don't know how to set that just yet. Camera track recording. Okay, well, it's not allowing me to change that. Let's watch it from one of the passenger windows, maybe. Okay, it's not allowing me to change that either. All right, I'll have to learn more about. I'll have to learn more about how that works. I just started, or just downloaded that and got it working. Yeah, see, that crosswind is really getting me. It's not showing us on the PFD during landing, but you know what? This was a decent landing. I will take this any day of the week. I'd love to see what it looks like from outside the airplane. And I didn't even land long. I think I set it down before the final marks there. Yep, there we go. Nose wheel down. Thrusters in reverse. Hey guys, we didn't look too bad there. I'm happy with that. Okay, and we vacated the runway. I don't, maybe it'll let me do it this way. Let's stop it. Let's go back in the timeline. Okay, it's not going to let you do that unless it's playing. Let me see. Oh, okay, here we go. This is going to be what we want to see. Let's get at about that angle. Oh, no, it didn't stay there. Okay. Well, I will learn some more about how to do that. Oh, well, hey, here we go. Maybe that'll do it. All right, let's watch what happens here. Landing lights on, of course. There's that stupid windmill. Oh, you know what? It's not replaying it right. It's not replaying it right. Yeah, it's like it's going to let me land it again.
Too low. To terrain.
Yeah, I know, too low terrain. Yeah, you don't like nothing about this. I don't know why it's doing this, guys. Let's try it again just for fun. I don't have any engines and I don't have any power. Okay. You know what we're going to do? We're going to call that a night.
Too
We
low,
know we're at the gate. Yeah,
Pull up.
okay. We're gonna shut that up there. All right. Well, you know what? We'll just go with that here this evening. We landed in Santa Fe. That was an awful lot of fun. I appreciate you being here with me this evening, and we'll do it again. I hope in a couple of weeks. Be sure to smash that thumbs up button and like it for me if you would. Want to thank you for watching tonight. We'll go ahead and call it an evening. Boy, that was fun. That worked really well. I'm going to get rid of the sound here, and hope to see you later. Tell some friends, and appreciate Graham, Jay, Jesse, Lucas, and of course my good friends Don and Monica up in Steamboat for watching tonight. So with that, we'll say goodbye. God bless you. Have a wonderful week, and see you here next time. I think next time we're going to fly Colorado 1. And I'll let you know the location later. If you're not on the email list to be notified by me personally, go ahead and send me an email, KE0VH at Outlook.com, KE0VH at Outlook.com. So good night from the flight simulator here at KE0VH. We'll see you next time.